Amazon has introduced a new chatbot powered by artificial intelligence known as Amazon Q. The AI assistant is focused on assisting businesses, not consumers, though. Jason Heiner joins us now. He's the editor-in-chief of the business technology news website, ZDNet. So tell us, Jason, what does it mean that it's trying to assist businesses rather than consumers? Walk us through what we know about Amazon Q.
Yeah, so Amazon Q is a little different than something like ChatGPT, which is really available to everyone to answer all kinds of questions about almost any topic. Amazon Q, on the other hand, is really aimed at businesses, organizations, people trying to ask questions about their work, about their performance of their company, about the data in their organization. So there are lots of places that this is going to be helpful. Just a couple examples to start are one, the data that you have in your company that about your business or about the performance of your organization that are often difficult to answer. We have lots of what are called analytics and other statistics programs and software. And sometimes it's really hard to just ask, how many of these things did we sell this quarter? And then how many did we sell in 2020 in the same quarter where there was a lot of similar things happening? You know, it might take somebody a little while to find something even that simple, right? Well, this being able to use a ChatGPT-like interface where you just write that question and get back the results is huge. And then another example is computer programmers. There's a lot of code that they write. There's a lot of applications that they build where they're trying to find the right code and the right ways to do things. And these kinds of tools can help find that code and bring it and import it and enable coders, software programmers to not have to rewrite redundant things over and over. So those are just two examples of where this is going to be used pretty significantly and in 2024 when this is going to really be fully rolled out.
And Jason, there are risks to artificial intelligence, obviously. What are the risks and the concerns over Amazon Q?
Yeah, there are many risks. There are many concerns with generative AI from Amazon, from Microsoft, of course, from OpenAI and others, Google as well. So there's the risk of jobs of it automating so much that some of the jobs that it automates away will the people that were in those jobs, will they have other opportunities? It will create new opportunities too, right? So that's the counterpoint, is that this will create faster and more efficient business activity, and that activity will create new opportunities, but they will be different opportunities and people will have to retrain. There are, of course, the Amazon risk that is specific is the fact that they are the platform, arguably perhaps the largest platform in the world, hosting so much business data, and so many companies use it, Amazon AWS, Amazon Web Services specifically, to host so many parts of their businesses and to run so many parts of their businesses that there is concern, could Amazon use data that's in companies' private stores there to then train its models? Amazon says it's not, that it will not use customer data, but that what Amazon learns from that customer data is something that it could use and could certainly shape the way that it builds these things. And that will give some organizations and some companies pause as they think about Amazon's path to this next sort of generation of AI.
Jason Heiner, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.